Our Pledge of Allegiance in the United States has a line in it that gets a lot of attention in sermons. And that line, of course, is one nation under God. Now, most of the sermons I think you will ever find that refer to this line spend a lot of time focusing on the under God part. And understandably so. Obviously, as Christians, when we see some of the attacks and the pushback on removing and secularizing a lot of these phrases that have, mentions to God or mentions to Jesus, we get a bit defensive, and that's understandable. Nobody likes to feel like they're being marginalized. Nobody likes to feel like their viewpoints are being removed from the public sphere. But that is not what I really want to focus on today. I do want to say that I do believe that we as a nation have been blessed by God, that we have been blessed by Jesus Christ. I believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God and that he did die on the cross for us. But I don't want to spend time focusing purely on that, because I think in our current political sphere and our current national sphere, really this idea of being one nation is something we're having a lot of difficulty with right now. We are in a state where we are very divided. And I think a lot of us expected with the election this past fall that maybe that would have changed, and really it's kind of foolhardy to have thought that. A changing of the guard is not going to fix the underlying problems that are causing people to see each other as not necessarily having the nation's best interests in mind. And I think we need to start looking for things beyond our own sort of political beliefs and everything, to sort of find common ground and unify as a country in some sort of way, so these divisions don't continue pushing us apart and putting us into a position that we don't want to be in. And I believe that there are two things that we really can all sort of unify under. And there are two things which I think our founding fathers did want. The first one is God. Now, I said at the beginning when I mentioned the one nation of God, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. And obviously, if you don't believe in God, I am not trying to use this as a soapbox to try and get you to convert here on the 4th of July. But I do believe this is a unifying factor that we can have as a nation that we can unify under. I mean, as the body of Christ, we are called to be unified. So if we, all believed in God and all believed in the Christian God, we would expect that we would be able to find some common ground. Now, obviously, Christian history shows that there has been a lot more difficulty with that, but the commands are at least there. But I do think there is another thing that we can unify under, and it's what we celebrate here on this 4th of July, which is this ideal of freedom. Our founding fathers made this nation with that idea as a central kind of pillar of what it is. This idea that regardless of what your background is, what you believe, that you are free to express it, and that you're free to go about your business. Now, with obviously limitations, there are things that are even outlawed in our own nation. Not all freedom is permitted, but this idea of being free to be yourself is something that is very central, I believe, to the American identity. It is something that I think we can unify under seeing that as something that is a common ground that we all have, and that we should view as a common ideal that we want to keep and protect. And I think if we do that, and if we pay attention to that, we can come together a bit better as a country and look past all of our differences to be unified again. So I wish you all a wonderful 4th of July, and now go forth as one nation that is unified under God.